what's going on, YouTubers? For ladies and gentlemen, it is the artist, formerly known as the Natural Born Thriller. And today's video, I'm going to be doing something pertains to AEW's Owen Hart Cup Tournament, pertains to the Owen Hart Foundation and All Elite Wrestling joined together. Which, by the way, this announcement happened back in September of 2021, around that week when I went to AEW's Dynamite and Rampage, where it pertains to Grand Slam at Alturas Stadium. And it was around that week where on that Monday that AEW and Mark the Hart from the Owen Hart Foundation has announced the Owen Hart Cup, which also is known as the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. I call it the Owen Hart Cup Tournament. But nevertheless, pertains to this tournament, I expected this tournament to pertains to honoring the man, but the life and the legacy of the late great Owen Hart for what he's done for the wrestling business, not just pertains to his time in WWF, but pertains to his time also pertains to Stampede Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling. And where territories he also was at during his time of being a professional wrestler. So what here to talk about this Owen Hart Cup tournament is basically basically entitled the Owen Hart Cup Tournament situation. And you're wondering, well, where am I going with this? Now, I love the concept of it. I love the idea of it because it pertains to honoring a man who left the wrestling business, pertains to what he's done for wrestling business. And we're not gonna talk about the untiming of his death in WWF, but pertains to what he's done for wrestling business. Which, by the way, him wrestling from 1996 all the way to 1999, he left a mark. He left a stamp. He left pertains to being a pioneer. Something that will go down, for generation to generation of what he's brought to the table, what he brought into the square circle of what he brought onto the dance in the first place. So he's an originator. He is an innovator, a pioneer, and that's something that Owen Hart has brought when he was in the business. So when I heard about the tournament that's going to happen, like, that's great. And I'm not going to get to the whole thing where WWE shields, WWE sheeps, WWE zombies, WWE fanboys and fangirls in the way too. We're not going to get into those e-drones that have a problem with this, because Owen Hart was never in AEW, and pertains to honoring a man like Owen Hart, they feel like is only for WWE. And we're not gonna get into that. Basically, that's basically what I'm trying to say here. I'm not gonna get into too much of that of it, because at the end of the day, they're wrong about the whole thing. Yes, he was known in WWF, but he's been known for other places too. And the only reason why he was known in WWF at the time is because he died there. But nevertheless, what pertains to the Owen Hart Cup Tournament, it's going to bring a lot of eyes into the product of AEW. Since to to grow in a way. So I was expecting that, pertains to the tournament, and also pertains to the tournament who's going to be in the tournament, which we haven't got a clear announcement of it during that time. All we got was an announcement that they're going to be doing an Owen Hart Cup tournament in the future. So that wasn't until around December we got more information about the Owen Hart Cup tournament, that they're going to be setting up matches for the Owen Hart Cup tournament that's going to lead to Double or Nothing, which is around a month of basically rotates to well rotates around the month. It'll be days after pertains to Owen Hart's birthday, which I believe he will have been what 57 years old or 56 years old if I can remember, because he died in 1999 at the age of 34. Days after his birthday, which it was on May 9th. So let's see. Hmm. He back in 2019, he would have been 54 years old. Yeah, 57. So yeah, 57 years old he would have been right now. Had he been around, he would have been around that age. Doing what? Obviously he would have been doing things that has nothing to do with wrestling. But same time, I think he still would have done something with wrestling, but maybe not with WWE that much. Maybe pertains to maybe just make special appearances wherever in the way, but pertains to person in general, he would have done something else outside, like what meet and greet, shoot interviews, whatever in a way, and other things. Even he could even done a podcast, if he wanted to, if he was still around. But we will never know that now because no links to the company. We'll never get to know about that whole thing of what Owen could have been doing. Pertains to spend more time with his family because he loved his family. And he loves pro wrestling, but what he loves more than pro wrestling is his family. And it's unfortunate that he's not here to be with his family because of that. Which is why Martha Hart doesn't want nothing to do with the company because of what happened with him and how they handled that death of Owen Hart. But again, I'm not going to get too much into that. Don't want to get too much into that because it's too much pain to go back to it in a way, and don't want to do that. But December they announced that the tournament's gonna happen. Not just it's gonna happen around since to reward the winner at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view for AEW. They announced also on that month of December of 29 of 2021 I should say, that it's not gonna just include the men's, but it will also include the women's. And I said to myself, oh, okay, that's a good, I like that. I actually like that. It's nice that they also want to include the women's too, because I'm pretty sure there's some women's that also thought that Owen Hart was a big influence as well, pertains to what what he's done. Again, what pertains to what he's been doing for the longest time in pro wrestling. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women's besides Natalia and whoever have you else that also found Owen Hart very inspiration of what he's done in the ring, that where they want to be also like Owen Hart too, like what pertains to any women that want that also grew up being a fan of Eddie Guerrero and were influenced by Eddie Guerrero. They want to be just like Eddie Guerrero. So that's another thing too as well pertains to that pertains to this whole thing. So I'm glad that they decided to also do it with the women's too, because we thought it was just gonna be for the men's. Well, obviously we all knew it was gonna be for the men's either way, but I'm glad that they also doing it for the women's too. So pertains to having the women's in there. So I asked myself, okay, so we're gonna have some men's that could be in there. That's in AW, but pertains to maybe other promotions as well, like an Impact Wrestling or Ring of Honor. Even though AW now owns Ring of Honor though, but it's where but just saying, other promotions like a Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, maybe a AAA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, maybe well obviously what pertains to overseas, maybe ECE, ECE tried to get in there, but we'll get into that later about it. But because I got a lot to say about this situation, which I want to get to it when I get to it. So, but but Impact Wrestling, NWA could have also been involved with that as well. Ring of Honor, MLW, HOG. I want to say, well, if there's anyone from GCW, I would want to be part of it, especially with potentially the women's. I would have Ali Catch to be part of that. Um, but yeah, Mertens, and obviously it's like we aim for WWE because WWE doesn't play nice. But you get my point. So they did announce that we'll be getting matches. That's gonna be taking place. And once we get to Double or Nothing, we're gonna get the two finals happen for not just for the men's but for the women's. So basically, around it's gonna be around the month where Owen Hart birthday was, and unfortunately um when he died. But after those passes by, which by the way Owen Hart's birthday already passed away at this point. Now what we need to do is get to Owen Hart's date of his death. But it will all culminate on Double or Nothing on May 29th, 2022. Now, with that being said, we're taking to the brackets because we had no idea who's going to be in the tournament. We had no idea who's going to be part of this Owen Hart Cup Tournament, and we're taking to who could they get outside of the company of AEW to for returns to any other wrestling promotions besides WWE, because WWE again don't play nice, and they will not allow anyone for WWE to go to there. Not even if they wanted even if it's all about Owen Hart, if Natalya wanted to be a part of be part of that tournament, WWE would have said no. So, but let's get to the brackets here, because I got a lot to say about this. They returns to how I saw it, returns to how they portrayed it on Dynamite and on Rampage. Retains to when they first started. I was thinking to myself, maybe we'll start like around retains to begin it with the list of who's going to be in it. They'll start the tournament, and then the tournament will lead them right into to the pay-per-view of where the finals that's going to be pertains to it, and it's not going to be booked. Pertains to storyline driven, like what they did with the Full Gear tournament, pertains to the AW World Heavyweight Championship eliminator tournament, because we all know that was story driven too. So I think myself in this tournament, this will be just one of those tournaments where anyone could be a part of it, and it's gonna be like almost like a G1 in a way, or maybe like a New Japan Cup in a way. Basically what it is that it could be like a New Japan Cup type of way, where it's gonna be a legit tournament. It's not gonna be anything having to do with storylines in a way. And I might though if there's gonna be interferences pertains to who they want to win this tournament, they could do that too and all, and then but pertains to storyline driven of who should win this tournament. It should not be that at all. But that's what basically they're doing here, which is I am not fond of too. And not just that, I look at the brackets too, how they started the brackets, and who's in the match. I see myself, okay, this is predictable. This person's gonna win. That person's gonna win, and more of the women's of who's winning that one than with the men's, which I'll get to. So, and they focus more on the women's this tournament more than they did with the men's. Now, when they first started to do the tournament, it was actually a qualifying tournament, a qualifying match of it to enter to the tournament, which that's what they're adding. They add that the qualifying match as part of the brackets for this tournament. And so that's not how it goes, though. That's not how it's supposed to be. Now, if they was going to do that, they should have done it in early March instead of doing it late March, because we got to because the tournament was officially supposed to be starting on either the like somewhere from the late April or starting early of May, and then it got plenty of time to get to the turn, to who's going to be in the finals of the tournament. So that's not what they did at all. So it pertains to the brackets of the women's tournament. That's what I'm gonna go first. Ladies first, because they were the first one. Yeah, they were the first to to start the tournament. Because again, what tends to AW doing the tournament, that's they began the tournament with the qualifying match. When I say so, again, that doesn't really count as a bracket because if it's a qualifying match to enter to a tournament, then that's all that is. It's just a match where you had to enter into a tournament. That doesn't count. That doesn't mean or count mean that you're in the tournament because you're qualifying. Because if you're in the tournament, that means you're already qualifying in the tournament. So this makes no sense that if that was even a bracket to begin with. So you had the Bunny versus Tony Storm. It was Tony Storm debut. After leaving WWE, which good. But coming to this match, which was a very good match, 8 minutes and 41 seconds it lasted. It was a competitive match, which is something that I want this tournament to be as well. Where chance to, if you're gonna have this tournament for the women's, you gotta give them more time. You gotta have to be competitive, which it was between the two. But at the same time, it's the Bunny. Who cares? So I'm glad that Troy Storm won that match. And they had Jimmy Hayter versus Sky Blue. Now Sky Blue has wrestled on Dark plenty of times and has wrestled on Dynamite and Rampage on rare occasions. And even watching this match, it was competitive too between the two. 5 minutes and 30 seconds lasted. Longer than Tony Storm versus Selena Vega from the Queen's Crown that WWE did, which that tournament was garbage. But same thing with here with Tony Storm with winning. Jamie Hayter was winning here too, and sure enough, she did. And then with Dr. Britt Baker DMD, which they were in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or in this case, Bridgesburg, Pennsylvania. She went against Daniela Camila, who used to be Vanessa Bourne in WWE. And nothing's changed for her because she still sucks. She still sucks in the ring, I should say. 6 minutes and 12 seconds lasted. Britt Baker was a better wrestler in this match. Daniela Camila still not good in the ring. She never was and never will be. So why she even bother still wrestling? And but Britt Baker won, which that again predictable. One of the best women's wrestlers in AEW. I want to put her as number one, but you get my point. Britt Baker, who's improving, and she proved me wrong that she belonged in AEW and she belongs in the women's of pro wrestling. And and again, she was a former AEW Women's World Champion, being the longest reigning AEW Women's World Champion in Hikaru Shida. So of course, Britt Baker was going to win. And then there's someone they added there, which I'll get to later, folks. I will get to that eventually. Riho versus Yuka Sakazaki. 9 minutes and 80 seconds lasted. This was the bear match on this tournament. To be honest with you, Riho and Yuka Sakazaki, with Riho winning 9 minutes and 80 seconds. Now I kind of knew Riho was going to win, but what I love about this with the Japanese women's wrestling, same thing with the men's Japanese wrestling, they know how to make things to make the matches unpredictable. Now coming to this match, it was predictable that Riho was going to win, but how they booked this match, they made it unpredictable where I thought Riho was going to lose here, which I thought there was plenty of times where I thought Riho was going to lose there, and she didn't lose. And by the way, she was wearing pink and black on the show. By the way, I say to myself, well, that was a missed opportunity because I thought maybe they'll have her turn heel, because if I want to Riho to be a heel in AEW, she's got to wear all black. But I guess black and pink doesn't mean that she's bad. I don't know. But I digress. But yeah, it was great though. I see her in different colors now. But I digress. But yeah, I'm glad that they did this match where it was predictable where Riho was going to win. But again, she did win, but they made this unpredictable because I thought Yuka Sakazaki was going to win here, and then Riho won. And then got Ruby Soho, Robin Renegade, Robin Renegade, who's rarely on the AW, and she's rarely on Dark as well. But sometimes she wrestles on Dark, but again, rarely she's on Dark. And her sister, Charlotte Renegade as well. I think that's her name. They did the whole thing where they did the whole the Bella Twins thing and WWE, the twin magic thing. And this match was 18 minutes and 22 seconds. I mean, 8 minutes and 22 seconds, I should say. Not 18. 8 minutes and 22 seconds. But yeah, even though they did the whole switcheroo, I knew right there Ruby Soho was going to lose because again, predictability. I knew Ruby Soho was going to win, and sure enough, she did. So she advanced. Red Velvet versus Will Nightingale. People wanted Will Nightingale to win, and that's 5 minutes and 16 seconds. Now there's someone who came from Ring of Honor, by the way. Who's wrestling against Red Velvet from AEW, and Red Velvet won. Now I wasn't fond of Red Velvet winning because I would at least thought that you'll have Will Nightingale winning, but at the same time, predictability. I knew Red Velvet was going to win, and as soon as she won, and the crowd was booing her that she won, like that was not good. That was not a good sign. But it paid off at the end because now that Red Velvet is a heel, she's with Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan as the baddies in AEW. One of the best, hottest things right now going on in AEW when it comes to the women's factions right now. And finally, Hikaru Shida versus Julia Hart. 7 minutes and 8 seconds lasted. And again, predictability. Hikaru Shida, the longest reigning AEW Women's World Champion, against Julia Hart, who's being in a way possessed in a way because she got black missed by Aleister Black into the eye. But again, predictability. I knew Hikaru Shida was going to win, and sure enough, she did. So she advanced. So now here's how the bracket stands so far for the women's side. Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter, which this is they've been building up a story with that one, folks, because again, when it comes to the tournament, it should not be a storyline driven because this is supposed to be about honoring the legacy of Owen Hart. I don't care about any storyline driven into a tournament. I don't care, if they want to do interferences, or it tends to, if they want to, if this is on how they sell the brackets to and all, with Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. If you want to break up to get involved in the match, which I don't understand why she would, because she's in the tournament too. And the brackets that have they sell it too is again, which is storyline driven. Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. Whoever wins, they go to the semifinals. Dr. Britt Baker DMD versus the Joker, which I'll get to that later on, my folks. And whoever wins that match gets to go to gets to advance into the semifinals. So let's say if Jamie Hayter wins, she advanced, and if Britt Baker wins, she advanced. So what they're doing, so basically what I'm trying to say here, what's that whole thing, and this is my opinion here, if they would have Jamie Hayter go over on Toni Storm, and they would have Britt Baker go over or whoever the Joker is going to be, and those two wrestle each other in the semifinals, that's storyline driven, and I don't like that. If you're going to honor the legacy, the memory of the life and the career of Owen Hart, this tournament should not involve any storyline driven, just to appeal some fans that thinks storyline is important. Where this tournament should not, this tournament should be the opposite of that. And that's my situation with this whole tournament. Not just because it was predictable who won these matches to potentially these tournaments, but to enter the tournament. But another thing is that they're focusing on storyline driven than they are of who should be a legit contender to win this tournament, this prestige tournament that should be prestige. Hopefully it still is, but we'll see. But again, Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter, Dr. Britt Baker DMD versus Joker. I'll get back to that. Ruby Soho Riho, I should say, versus Ruby Soho. I gotta go in order here. And Red Velvet versus Hikaru Shida. So now we know who's in the tournament. This is the actual tournament here, folks. I'm not counting the qualifying brackets because that's not how the tournament's supposed to be. If they want the women's to be in the women's Owen Hart Cup Tournament, it should, qualifying matches should not be included into the brackets. Just announce who's going to be in the tournament. That's it. There's no need to have a qualifying match. There's no need to to do any top rankings too. No, just announce the women's who's going to be in the tournament. It doesn't just have to be in the AEW. Again, it could be someone else that come out from Ring of Honor, Stardom, which Riho is from Stardom. She works for AEW too, but still, you get my point. But yeah, Impact Wrestling, and whatever have you. Instead, they didn't do that. It's because it's all about AEW, and that's not the right way to go. I don't mind any or AEW stars to be in the tournament, but you gotta have variety in it as well. You gotta have different women to be a part of this prestige tournament that you put over that you're trying to pull over, I should say, to the casuals and to the hardcore fans. So now, as far as the Joker against the Britt Baker DMD, there's a lot of speculation who's going to be in the match. Who's going to be the opponent, I should say, in the match against Dr. Britt Baker DMD. So people say it could be Candice LeRae, who had a contract had been expired from WWE, which means she can go wherever she wants now. So it could be Candice LeRae coming in against Dr. Britt Baker DMD. Don't remember they had matches before, but I guess we'll find out eventually from Excalibur, with his knowledge and pro wrestling of elsewhere. Some people could say it could be Athena, the former Ember Moon. Will it be her? I don't know. Well, again, we're to see. So I'm gonna lean on those two things there. It could be either Candice LeRae or it could be Athena. Either way, one of those two might be making their AW debut on Dynamite against Dr. Britt Baker DMD. Well, actually, is it on Dynamite? Yeah, actually, yeah, it is. So there you go. Which is later on tonight, by the way, folks. So, but we'll see how that turns out. Now, as far as my predictions for the women's side, and I'll get to the men's later on, folks. As far as the women's prediction size, Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. Toni Storm will go over. Dr. Britt Baker DMD versus either if it's going to be Candice LeRae. If it's Candice LeRae, I'm going with Dr. Britt Baker DMD. But if it's Athena, I'm going to go with Athena to go over. So let's just say Athena, if it is Athena. I'm going to go with Athena then to go up against Toni Storm at the semifinals. Riho versus Ruby Soho. I will have, to be honest with you, Ruby Soho go over on Riho and to advance to the semifinals. And then rotates to Red Velvet versus Hikaru Shida. I will have Hikaru Shida go over on Red Velvet to go up against Ruby Soho. And that will release to Toni Storm and Athena. I will go with Toni Storm to go over on Athena to go to the finals. And for Ruby Soho to win over Hikaru Shida to advance to the finals. And as far as who I want to win the entire tournament, if I had to choose who should get the opportunity, who deserves it, it should be Ruby Soho. But I can see that AEW is probably going to have Toni Storm win because I figure that AEW is going to probably have Toni Storm win because her coming in, she's got a lot of fans on her side now that she's in the AEW and everything. So I could definitely see her winning the entire thing. But I will go with Ruby Soho to win the entire thing. But I'm not too excited for this women's tournament for the Owen Hart Cup Tournament, but I'm giving my absolute best, outcome of that can to at least get my excitement up for the women's side. But as far as the men's side, the men's took a little longer for them to do their own tournament to who's going to be in it as well. For example, Max Caster versus Samoa Joe. Now Samoa Joe announced when he made his return to Ring of Honor from the Supercard of Honor that when they did the mediums what do they call that, the medium scrums like that, where he announced he wants to be in the Owen Hart Cup Tournament. And that's the way they should have done it. Instead, they have him being in the qualifying match against Max Caster, and there was obviously no way that after Samoa Joe making an announcement, he's going into the tournament. He's going to this qualifier, I should say, this qualifier in this tournament up against Max Castle, just for him to lose. So of course he won in 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Samoa Joe advances to the to the tournament. Because again, I don't count qualifiers as part of the brackets for this tournament. And then you got the Joker, which we'll get to. I'll get back to that. Dante Martin, 9 minutes and 38 seconds against Ray Phoenix, which he has returned, and Ray Phoenix is going over. Now, this match was to me, I feel like it was a little predictable because I wanted Ray Phoenix to win. I have think that in predictability that Ray Phoenix was going to win, but I'm glad that they did this whole thing where Dr. Martin looked like he was going to win. It was very unpredictable how they did it, and I'm glad they did that way because I really thought they had Dr. Martin was going to win here, but Ray Phoenix is winning instead. And I'm like, awesome, that's great. I'm glad they're doing that. Same thing with Kyle Riley versus Jungle Boy, 13 minutes and 2 seconds, where I already couldn't tell who's going to win this match here. And it ended up being Kyle Riley who wasn't winning. And he advances. And then we're taken to Alan Cole versus Tomohiro Ishii. This was kind of predictable because as much I love Tomohiro Ishii, he wasn't going to win this one. My thing is how he's going to lose this match for Alan Cole to advance, which the match lasted 11 minutes and 14 seconds. And the match was good for what it was. So how they came around this, Jay White was there. He attacked one of the I think it was Chuck Taylor or Trent that who was out there. And Orange Cassidy was trying to grab Jay White. Tomohiro Ishii was easily distracted, which led to Alan Cole give him a little blow and gives him the boom and gets the win. So if there was a way for Tomohiro Ishii to lose here, because there was no way he's going to lose to Alan Cole unless he cheats to win. So that's how they did it. So, which was fine, again, but potential interferences in a way, where or potential that whole thing with the tournament, I was fine with that. At least it wasn't no story driven, which is how it played out. I mean, unless if you want to talk about the history between Tomohiro Ishii and Jay White, it's whatever. That's New Japan things. That had nothing to do with AEW. Dax Howard and Cash Wheeler versus each other. FTR. 15 minutes and 5 seconds lasted. This was a great match, but again, this was a qualifier to qualify into the Owen Hart Cup Tournament, which is a big no on my part. But it was still a great match how they did it. It was basically a mirror image of Bret versus Owen, Bret versus Stone Cold, and whatever other Bret matches they were doing as well, like a Bret versus Diesel as well, something like that. Hell, I think they even tried to do the whole Bret versus Piper as well. I think that's what they also did as well. But I digress. But either way, it was all to to show not only a tribute to Owen Hart, but a tribute to Bret Hart as well. And I was thinking myself, Cash Wheeler was here, but instead, Dax Harwood, he won instead. I'm like, okay, this is good. I wasn't expecting him to win, but he did. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. But again, with this tournament, I kind of wish that they were actually in the tournament instead of qualifying and to get into the tournament. Shane or Swerve Strickland, because they're not calling him Shane anymore. Swerve Strickland versus Darby Allin, 10 minutes and 22 seconds. There was also interferences where Tinson Swerve, where he lost, because there was no way he was going to advance over on Darby Allin, and sure enough, he has it going over. So it was in a way it was predictable. And then Bobby Fish versus Jeff Hardy, this was also predictable too, with 10 minutes and 20 seconds last night with Jeff Hardy winning. So there you go. And at least in this match, there was no interferences. There was no storyline driven. Then Jeff Hardy, who's a big influence of Owen Hart, especially when he wrestled against Owen Hart before. So here's how the bracket stands, by the way. Samoa Joe versus Joker, which I'll get back to that. Rey Fenix versus Kyle O'Reilly. Alan Cole versus Dax Harwood. And Darby Allin versus Jeff Hardy. As far as Samoa Joe versus some Joker, some people say it could be Claudio Castagnoli, who I think he's probably gonna be going by Claudio Cesaro. Basically the former Cesaro. So basically, it's gonna be Claudio coming in if it is him against Samoa Joe, where he can still use the last name of Cesaro, except it's not gonna be spelled in the way that it was spelled like in WWE. Because if you remember, he used to be called Antonio Cesaro until the WWE got rid of the first name, and he was just called Cesaro. So we'll see if it's him, but if it's not him, it could be the Rebel Heart, Johnny Gargano. Now, if it is Johnny Gargano, as much as I'd love to see him go over because he has the heart and soul and the guy who could win it all, who embodies the legacy of the late great Owen Hart. Johnny Gargano is that guy. So yeah, I am gonna go with Johnny Gargano to go over on Samoa Joe with outside appearances though, where it is unfortunately when the storyline driven because the whole thing with Jay Lethal and that whole thing. So I could see something like that happening. I don't want it to happen. I wish it could be like a different outcome, which is someone else interfering. And then Samoa Joe could got that guy later, whatever. But we'll see. Because I don't see Samoa Joe losing clean. That's what I'm trying to say there. So if it's gonna be John Gargano, I want him to go over. I'll actually go over with John Gargano facing Samoa Joe to be the Joker to go up against Samoa Joe, then Claudio Cesaro. So I will go with Gargano to go over to the semifinals. Rey Fenix versus Kyle O'Reilly. I'll go with Rey Fenix. Alan Cole versus Dax Harwood. I will go with Alan Cole here. I'm actually going to go with Alan Cole here. Darby Allin versus Jeff Hardy. That right there is a dream match right there alone. But Darby Allin's going to go over. I want Darby Allin to go over. As much as I love Jeff Hardy, but Darby Allin should go over. Johnny Gargano versus Rey Fenix. Again, this is my opinion, folks. But since this whole tournament that's going on, but Johnny Gargano versus Rey Fenix. Johnny Gargano. Alan Cole versus Darby Allin. Alan Cole. And yes, folks, you know where I'm going with this. Johnny Gargano versus Alan Cole. Rematches from NXT. The gold and black days of NXT. Yes. It's a real shame that Andrade El Idolo, who could be who's not in this tournament, because that would have been awesome too. Whatever. That's what I feel bad for, by the way. He could have been in this tournament, but instead, he's too busy worried about the Andrade family office. That needs to be the Hardy family office. I'd love to see that match again, between Gargano and Alan Cole. And I want it to happen in this tournament at the moment nothing. As far as who I want to win the entire thing, because again, this is my opinion. It's my what I think is going to happen. If it is Johnny Gargano in this tournament, he wins the whole thing. He's going to win the whole tournament. And that's how it's going to be. We're changed to that. Now, which is the men's side, I'm more excited for the men's tournament than I am on the women's tournament, because I believe the men's has done a better job of pertains to unpredictability of who's going to win this tournament than the women's. Not their fault, not the women's fault. It's how WWE. I mean, not WWE. It's how AW booked it. So, and the winner will get to receive out those trophies, their respective trophies from Martha Hart, Oj, and Athena Hart, which is great. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to also include Bret Hart, because Bret Hart and Martha had their issues years ago. Can't remember what year it was. I think it was 2018, or it was around that time where Owen Hart's Owen Hart DVD came out for WWE. It was called The Heart of Gold, and Bret Hart felt like that DVD was a piece of shit. I want to know because I didn't see it, didn't buy it because I was not gonna give WWE my money of to uh to a great man like Owen Hart who died in that company because of their irresponsible ways of what how they handled Owen Hart during his final days. So, but because of that, that's when I guess when Martha Hart and Bret had that falling out because of it. Not just because of that DVD, but because of the footages and the whole Hall of Fame thing. It's a sad situation. It's really and it really is sad because it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be divided that way because of this man and the company of their fucking stupidity and pettiness and their irresponsible ways and the fact that they just don't give a shit. That all they give a shit was is to make money and and ruin everybody else's career in the process of it. Even when it comes to ruin a great family like the Hart family. So in a way, it's sad that maybe Bret Hart could be part of of the show, but won't be there in the ring, whoever to help present the trophies to the winners. Because again, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, folks, that it's not going to be that way. It should be that way, but it's not going to be that way. I would love that the entire Hart family would have been part of it, just for for the sake of what happened to Owen Hart, because at the end of the day, Owen Hart was a Hart family. So, and I'm kind of disappointed too that Davey Boy Smith Jr. wasn't a part of this tournament, or if he's even gonna be part of of the show itself. Because with him being fired from WWE, I think maybe he could be part of this tournament. Even when it comes to Dakota Kai, where WWE could have just let her go back in January because she didn't want to be there. She didn't want to resign. She didn't want to renew. She could have been fired during that time, where she could have been part of this tournament. And I could have chose her to win the entire tournament instead of Tony Storm or whatever. But this whole situation makes me sad that that not the entire Hart family won't be there. It's just gonna be Martha, Oj, and Athena Hart. To be honest with you, it makes me want to cry because it shouldn't like I said it shouldn't even be this way. It really shouldn't. But that's well, in the end of the day, that's life, I guess. But there you go, folks. That's my whole Owen Hart Cup tournament situation where it involves AEW in a way. So and everything else. Now, what's this going to mean for the winners afterwards? We talked about this before, by the way, when TC Asylum, where they could do so much with this. They could have they could choose on their own title shots in a way. Maybe if they want to, maybe they I don't know. It's got to be more to it than just winning a trophy. Like for example, the New Japan Cup for New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you win the New Japan Cup, you get a title shot. That's how that's how it's always been. Um, Now I don't remember if you win that when it comes to win the New Japan Cup tournament that you get to choose any title you want to wrestle for. Of what I've seen as of late, it's always been to go after the New Japan main title, like the IWGP title, the IWGP World title, I should say. So I don't know what to do with this, other than just to win the tournament and to win the cup, and and also just not just to honor Owen Hart, who meant so much to us, but it's got maybe a shot at the TNT title, a shot at the AEW World title. Who knows? That's up to them. What they want to do with this. You want to make this mean something? I have a just prestige to it. Besides win a cup, and to win and to win for the honor of Owen Hart. It's got to be something more to it than that too as well. But we'll see. We'll see what they do because it has already full explain of what what you get after you win the cup. So, but we'll see. But that's all I gotta say from there, folks. No less to say. No more, no less. And with that being said, folks, I'm gonna wrap up from here. Hope you all understand where I'm coming from with all my situation of this whole Owen Hart Cup tournament. And if you do, let me know what you think. You can write in the comments if you want. I will air this when I can. Maybe around 1. We'll see. But either around 1 or 3, either way, either of those two. But tune in for that though. Or what time this will be up? This will be up, on to premiere on my channel. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching. For it is the artist, for known as the Natural Born Thriller. As I say, peace on the streets to all of you. To be well, stay safe, take care of yourself, everything that's going on in the world, and always remember, you are just like Owen Hart was. But with me, I'm a natural heart of gold. But for all you, you're all heart. You're all heart of gold. Take care.